Too. Dr. Kemilon Soro, I want to talk about Mohbad's case. As you can see, I was right all along that they're not going to charge Wunmi for Mohbad's death. And that basically in Kotoma Shini, one Malonda image. All right. When they might try to pin it on the nurse. And I was shocked that they actually had Ayobami there to prosecute. She only lost the drugstore to Laura Bubu. With a DPP announced in October of 2024 to the media that we will update you very soon about the results of the toxicology test from America and the full autopsy and everything. That was October. November, December, January. January, they have not made any updates in January. Then I told you that next week they're going to start updating Mohbad's case and they will let you know that, Wunmi is not responsible for anything and that she's going to start going around doing interviews and all. Anyway, I was right. You can see that Wunmi has been doing a media tour. But when got believe me, Abby. Okay. Anytime Bumilori Facebook, I really don't give a fuck, okay? I'm the only one that did this investigation. Just like I was the only one that did many investigations in Nigeria. From Hush Puppy to Faton Igbo in Koza and all these different cases. There's a reason why the Nigerian media doesn't touch many of these cases. I hope you know the reason, right? The people that own these media houses are the very same people who are friends with all the culprits, okay? So you wouldn't see them reporting it. At the end of the day, many independent journalists didn't want to take this case. $10,200 Mufishe case Mohbad, and I had 4 people working with me. It was a little bit expensive for me. At the end of the day, okay, Mutishishemi, okay, I'm down in history. They're putting out information to distort history. They'll distort history. You can't distort history with this case because my book is almost out about this case alone. I'm writing a book about my 31 year in investigative journalism. However, it's like I don't want to write a separate book, but I am writing a separate book about this very case. There are 3 cases in my career that was very big. Bonnie Haim's story in America, and that one was about a mother whose 3-year-old said, "Daddy beat mommy." The woman was missing for like years. At the end of the day, when the 3-year-old was shouting, "Daddy kills mommy, daddy beat mommy, daddy beat mommy," it was a black journalist that was telling the police chief, okay, that we should look at what this little boy is saying. When that boy turned 17 years old, when you call rake leaves, ni winter and bo, bàbá ẹ̀ ní kó lọ rake leaves, ibi tó ti ń rake leaves, ó wá dig ilẹ̀ lẹ́yìn ilé wọn láti da leaves yẹn sínú ẹ̀ fún compost. Ibẹ̀ ló ti rí bones ibi tí ìyá ẹ̀ wà nìyẹn. Daddy his mommy. The police chief didn't care. He said that the 3-year-old boy is not credible. I said there's something this boy is saying. Maybe I'm 60 now. I'll be 61 in 5 months. The police chief is now 92. Nígbà tí wọ́n solve case yìí, wọ́n pè mí níbi tí mo wà. I was almost 48 years old in Canada. They called me and they let me know. I was right all along. I was the investigative journalist that said, go and Google it, Bonnie Haim. Haim, Bonnie. What are Wikipedia? The murder of Bonnie Haim, Tomo Kekere sọ pé daddy beats mommy. And the woman was missing for years. They didn't know what happened to him. Wọ́n rò pé ó ti lọ, ó ti kúrò nílé, ó ti lọ síbòmíì gbogbo. Ó pàdánù, ó dẹ̀ bury ẹ̀ sẹ́yìn ilé. Ọmọ ló lọ jig bones by mistake. So ẹ má fi mí ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́ kankan. Ẹ má mess with me, okay? Wunmi ò lè get away with this. I have written US and Canadian authorities about this case. Okay? Very soon she'll be on a no-fly list and she won't be able to escape anywhere. Ṣé àwọn tó ń sponsor ẹ̀ Wunmi? Wọ́n tóbi ju Ọlọ́run lọ, wọ́n tóbi now. Ìwọ ń sọ nínú mídíà ẹ̀ pé Yomi Fabiyi fi 10 million naira, ó fi NGO ẹ̀ gba 10 million lọ́dọ̀ àwọn èèyàn. O rò pé eré ni Yomi ṣe bó ṣe ń ṣe gbogbo live tó ń ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀. O rò pé eré lèmi náà ń ṣe. I even heard she was talking about VDM, saying that VDM defamed her and all that. You better shut the fuck up. Wunmi, ìwọ ló pa Mohbad. Showing Kotima explains how Nigerians, okay, it's called causation law. And the Nigerian Bar Association, being the 3rd fraudulent in the world, the first fraudulent one, is American Bar Association. The second one is the Brazilian Bar Association. Nigerian Bar Association is the third most fraudulent bar association in the world. They will not do this because the godfathers who are protecting you, Wunmi, are also protecting them. Ewo Mohbad Atiomoe. Notice something, right? They actually look alike when you look at this picture. For every DNA case that I've done in my journalism career, before I retired on February 9th, we have seen many cases where people have taken care of children from birth. Children have become 30, 40 years old, and the fathers were not the real fathers. Because they blended with the family and they look like the family. There is something called telegony. Every one of you needs to go Google telegony. Liam is a telegony baby until he has a DNA test. Telegony is about inheritance. You can be sleeping with 4 men, okay? And the child ends up looking like your own husband that you're also sleeping with. But the child belongs to one of those 4 men. So the only thing that can help to eliminate the telegonic problem, okay, is to do a DNA test. Even the scientists have said that telegony is not 100% correct, but we've seen cases where it came to be. After Mohbad died, Wunmi started making this child look like Mohbad. Oma see the same hairstyle. Everybody should the same hairstyle. Oma fun. Oma low AI. I've seen it all, Wunmi. She has used AI a lot, and she's put the hair, played anything to make this child look like Mohbad. It doesn't matter. The only thing that can eliminate the fact that Mohbad did not conceive this child, okay, is that DNA test, and she's avoided it throughout. Now she's going on television, telling all these television stations that it's the father that's preventing her from getting the DNA test. Kilo come about Mohbad in the DNA test. The only thing to come about Mohbad ni ejo lo sibi te se DNA test. I dey report draw gbogbo asun Liam ajo evidence. Don't use that as an excuse. A minimum burial or DNA. 3 days after that I started the DNA thing, that young man, Vincent, picked it up, okay? Now, those of you that are VDM fans, open your freaking ears out, okay? I started this investigation 3 days after I talked about the DNA information. VDM took the information and he amplified it on his platforms. Okay, VDM has more followers than I. He amplified. I hope you know what that means. Think about any popular platform. You can hear news somewhere and break it on your own platform. It gets bigger. Okay? Nobody's competing for who said DNA first. But it started on my side on Twitter. And you know why it started on my side? Because 1, I was investigating the case. Number 2, this is what caused the fight. Evidence from the people living in that house. There were 15 of them in that house, and I spoke to 5 of them. Evidence was that when they left that concert, this argument started. This is how that young man, Prime Boy, forgot his bag inside the car and they drove away. Or Canadian visa to DNA. Most of NTA now. Remember NTA interviewed me the first time and I did all those, and they just let's hold on of this because this thing can be more than. And I'm glad we held off. How many things the NTA my broadcast? This case went into areas we didn't think it would go into. So at the end of the day, when they got home, this Canadian visa, okay, and then this whole attempted suicide this attempted by that Mohbad almost did with this little boy, about to throw this child into the river. She bá wọn ọ̀rẹ́ mo, àwọn bella shimoda, mo mi gbogbo ọ̀nà mọ̀ pa. Kí ló dé tó ṣe fẹ́ drown ọmọ? Kí ló dé tó fi interrogate Canadian visa yẹn àti paternity ọmọ nínú mọ́tò? Ṣé rò pé driver tó ń drive ò tí sọ̀rọ̀? Abẹ́ mo. At the end of the day, the fight filtered into the house. And when they got into the house, the top of the steps, the fight continued. What happened to Mohbad between the top of the step and the bottom of his set that broke his neck and his carotid artery was pumped up and his neck was broken. From the railing, Shebi's sister Wunmi ti bọ́ sórí TikTok live for years now. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí railing? Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ sí railing? Mohbad had a violent fight with Wunmi. Wunmi's face was covered with bumps at the funeral that they had. Swelling. Mohbad fought vigorously to save his own self. And at the end of the day, what happened? He was pushed to the bottom of the steps and he died. And then they called a nurse. Instead of calling 911, go to the hospital, they called a nurse. The nurse is going to be the key to this case because She needs to be prosecuted for not having the authority to administer certain things. However, Wunmi is the causation of this case. So, what I mean by causation is I want everybody to Google causation in criminal law. Okay, it's the relationship between a defendant's action and the harm actually caused. Mohbad had an injury in his hands. The police chief showed us that injury at the press conference. It was to his fist and his hands. She went on TV and she was showing his elbows. I mean, it's like a second injury happened after the fight at the house, which is what was fatal and what killed him. That's causation. This is a case in New York that I did at the same time as the Oromoni case. 12-year-old boy being bullied in school. Romyville Saint. Guys, go and read Romyville Saint. Vilsaint. First name Romy. Romy. Romy was being bullied a lot. On the day they punched this boy in school, so bad, he collapsed and he died the next day. After the autopsy, he died of a peptic ulcer. That's what the autopsy showed. He had H. pylori. So what is the causation? New York settled with him, with his family for $5 million. But at the end of the day, what is the causation? What caused the death? I wrote in 2022, look at the date on the bottom, that Oromoni Sr. should be arrested for child negligence and lying to the public. They wanted this boy to suffer, and then testimony for their church, their bishop, DKG Daniels. They wanted to do a testimony. That's what they were doing. So they were filming Sylvester suffering so the public can have sympathy on him, thinking that some other kids bullied him. This boy had a football injury that turned into sepsis. The infection went as far as his liver, and his liver was enlarged, and they didn't take him to the hospital. This man was wicked. He even drove this child to Delta by road, not even by plane. Ruben Abati there, parents and doctors' negligence killed Sylvester. But did they arrest the father? No. Or the doctor? No. That's Nigeria for you. So in Mohbad's case, it's causation law, and there are no lawyers. Nobody wants to get involved in this case. If there's some good lawyers out there, they will fight this one in court. I want to case going now. I about me nurse colony case. Nurse won't let you hold there. They've already altered the Wikipedia. And don't call Wikipedia if bring down. The Wikipedia is saying that Mohbad died of a tetanus vaccine. He did not die of any tetanus vaccine. Tebas if you act stupid, you use self-triaxone. Don't seizure from. We're watching, Wunmi. We're watching.